We should be live again. I have no idea what just happened. It dumped us.
Yeah, we seem to have disconnected. I'm sorry about that, folks. Hold up one second. Part 2, the sequel was
Yes,
good.
weird.
Let's go ahead and
Second
share
time
this.
is a charm. Yeah, we got to do some sharing. Somebody can do me a favor. Please share this to my wall.
I can't on my phone. Jake Phillips says smooth. Shut up, Jake. Jake from State Farm. Yeah, you are Jake from State Farm. I know you. You're supposed to be working or pooping. I don't know.
Is he actually Jake from State Farm?
He is Jake from. Yeah, he's Jake from State Farm.
Dang.
Yeah, I think before we were so rudely interrupted, we were talking about front-wheel drive cars that have entirely too much power. So that brings us, of course, to the internet taste flavor of the week, the new Civic Type R. A turbocharged 2-liter making, what, 306 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque?
306 horsepower through your front tires.
That's entirely
it's just
too
a
much.
bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't care that it's on 20 by, what do you think those are, 245s or what they're going to put on the front of
I
it?
don't know.
It's just going to blow them off.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It makes equivalent torque too, like 200, almost
That's
300
actually
foot-pounds of
pretty
torque.
impressive for a Honda, though, that hasn't, like, made torque ever.
Yeah, it's a turbocharged car.
Yeah, but, like...
I don't trust Hondas and turbochargers with how F1's going. I'm just saying,
F1
they
is
can't
not,
get their
like,
crap together in
indicative
F1.
of real life. I think it's really interesting, though, that the new base Civics are turbocharged, and they will pull on 8th and 9th gen SIs, like stock for stock. So, heads up, guys, you bought the wrong car. You should go and sell it for a super Econo box. We're going to get tons of hate for that. That's okay.
But let's talk about the Civic for a little bit. Like, what it's so huge. It's going to weigh 3,000 pounds.
That's insane. Yeah, that's too much. I mean, it kind of loses the.
Look at it.
I think this goes back to the first episode.
It looks like an STI. I don't want to be this guy,
no,
but it looks like an
the
STI.
wing is like off an STI. It looks like a Decepticon with its like fender flares and the vents and all that stuff. But I mean, like this goes back to our very first episode. Are cars getting worse as we try to make them better? I think the answer is yes.
Well, the reason it's so big is crash standards and
Right.
things like that.
Right.
I mean, I don't think it's so much Honda's fault, but I just wish they would go, you know, and you can't even say that. You know what? That's not fair. You can't say that because look at Mazda. Look what they have done with the current Miata.
Right. The current Miata is exactly. I think that dimensionally is very similar to the NA.
Yes.
And like
it's close.
Power to weight is better.
Sure, it's a little more bulbous in strange places, but it's
I
right there. They kept the weight
think
down.
It's like very comfy too.
That's
it's
what I
roomier
want.
than the NA.
That's what I'd want on the Civic Type R. Give me a stripped out hatch.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it didn't even have to come with a radio. That's what I'd want.
I don't know, like all the cars that did come with radios, like your STIs and S2000 CRs,
Are the best cars.
The worst cars.
The best
The
cars.
worst cars. When I spent 2 hours on the way to Champaign this weekend in the morning with no heat, no radio, and just loud, buzzy annoyingness. But in other news, this is now the fastest front-wheel drive production car to get around the Nürburgring. And I don't know if that actually means anything, or if it's like...
I think manufacturers are just making up, like, new records for themselves to, you know, we didn't quite make what we wanted to make, so let's make a record that we fall into.
So it's kind of like Dewey making records for himself. It's like, I won the not street mod class in my car that's not street mod.
That's exactly what that is.
Right, so Dewey gave
But
himself
I'm not a manufacturer.
He could be. I mean, you manufacture, like, dope memes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
So yeah, fastest car around the ring as a front-wheel drive car. But is it really a production car at that point? Like, did they change the tires? Did they change the brakes? Did they mess with the damper settings? Because this now comes with like selectable damper settings. There's like
why?
I don't know, but if you put it, I think it's like an R+ mode. It like firms it up. It's like the ferromagnetics fluid, like sharpens up. Like,
you know what? I'm gonna lay this down right now. If you put equivalent tires on this and Eddie's car, his new Integra Type R, I got money. His Integra Type R would take that on Gingerman.
On Gingerman, sure. Yeah.
I think that's a very balanced track.
I don't know, but like, well, yeah, the Gingerman does have that like kind of longish straight across the back, and that's where everybody passes me because I'm like at the top of fifth and not going any faster.
Yeah, Chuck, I totally agree. Let's bring back the lightweight stuff.
let's
bring back the Beetle RSI. What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know what that
Crash?
is.
I don't think so.
Bring back any of the lightweight cars. I think cars really are just kind of losing.
You
that
have the new
visceral
Alphas,
feeling.
and you have. I really like the approach they took with the new Miata.
Yeah.
But I
like parts of the approaches they took. I don't like the steering feel in the new Miatas. It's very artificial. It's too light at low speeds and too heavy at high speeds. And
I haven't been able to drive one in anger, so. I see they have a lot of body roll.
They have a lot of body roll. They say that's like purposeful because it's like reminiscent of the NAs, and I guess with like such a lightweight, underpowered car, it's kind of necessary to be able to like shift your weight and throw it around and stuff. I don't know. It's a great car. It's just not for me. At least not in stock form. I think it's like a STR prepped car. I think it'd be great, like with firmer suspension at minimum. It makes it a lot more fun to drive. Is the ring a good indicator of a car's worth, do you think? Or
No.
No?
I think the, and again, I've never been on the Nürburgring myself, so, but
I mean,
my only real comparison is going to be the amount of laps I've turned in Forza on it, but you get a feeling for the track. It's going to favor higher powered cars.
Right.
It's going to favor cars with
prodigious grip.
Yeah, just gratuitous amounts of grip. So
Like-
in these manufacturers tend to run different tires than the ones that they're throwing on their.
I mean, I think it's interesting because Car and
stock
Driver
vehicles.
did a shootout with the power shootout or whatever at
Yeah.
VIR for a long time. It's like a continuing like running thing. But if you look at it, it's like there's a V6 Mustang that's faster than S2000 CR around VIR.
Yeah,
So I mean, like, do numbers are really not
VIR
everything.
has got some really long straights.
Yeah.
And an S2000 is just not going to do
Right.
well there. I wish they do something like that at, say, like Laguna Seca, where it's got a good mix of
Isn't it
some
Monster Raceway
uphill
now?
and whatever. It's Laguna Seca. And Sonoma will always be Sears Point.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You gotta get used to change.
No,
Dewey.
no, I don't.
Change.
I'm old.
Change.
I'm old and stuck in my ways at this point.
You're pretty.
I'm old and stuck in
turning
my
to
ways.
dust. Oh, what else do we want to talk about? You guys are awfully quiet today.
Yeah, why are you so quiet?
Awfully quiet. Last week we had like 100 comments. Truck says 300 should be max power on front wheel drive. I agree. I actually think 300 is even too much. I think it's like anything beyond like 200 to 250 pound-feet of torque is like too much.
And the other thing that I don't like about the Type R is, in my understanding, is the red line is going to be something like 65.
Yeah, because like you can't ring it out anymore.
I think it takes away from the character of that vehicle. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do that, if you're going to go Type R and all this, get the damn thing all-wheel drive.
I want to know more about the Type R. When the Integra Type R came out, they were like all about like specs on it, right? It's like now with firmer bushings all around, comes with like polyurethane in these locations, wheels like steady state, like.
Why does it got 3 exhaust tips?
Yeah, that's the straw. This is how they're marketing it. It's like 20-inch wheels, 3 exhaust tips. This is what we're marketing it as. Why is that a marketing thing? Why are we not talking about the cars like actual? I don't know.
It aggravates me.
And like 20-inch wheels, why? There's
Hey,
like
the
no
worst
good
part about
tires
this-
for 20s.
The worst part about this is somebody's going to throw some sweet-looking work wheels on it and stance the crap out of it. These cars are going to sell like hotcakes. And Honda's going to think it's due to their performance.
Oh my god.
Oh, good old dickhead Steve.
Dewey apparently didn't mute his messages, and
No. We totally need a new way of doing this. Production quality of this is going to go up significantly here soon.
yeah, guys, I want to use my GoPro 3, but apparently, or 4, or whatever I have, but apparently GoPro has discontinued their USB Mini to 3.5mm adapter, and I cannot find a good one. If someone has one laying around, we will buy it off of you. We will send you a t-shirt. We will wax poetic about how great you are, maybe, probably. Girls will go crazy. It'll get them hot and bothered. I guarantee it. And by I guarantee it, I mean it won't happen, because there's like one of them watching this right now.
Jake Phillips is asking an opinion on the Chevy SS. I tell you what, I think it's the most underrated car in Chevy's lineup right now. I think they should have advertised that car more.
They really
and I
should
heard
have.
that they're going to stop production on that, which
They
is a
are
damn
going to
shame.
stop production.
I know it's a G8 with a slight update, but I thought the G8 was great.
I think the interior of both the G8 and the SS are kind of like lacking. I think that the GTO had a nicer interior than both of those cars.
You think the GTO has have you sat in an SS?
Yeah.
They're really nice.
I don't think it's that. I drove one at CarMax.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that car was for a GM. I'm giving it credit because it's a GM.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess, because even the C7's like pretty terrible.
Jake from State Farm's thinking about buying one.
Jake from State Farm, yeah, he does love his 4 doors. He went from an IS300 to a Grandpa. What do you have now? An LS? Something? 1UZ power?
What do we got? Chuck Harris says it's an external wastegate for that middle exhaust pipe. I don't think it is.
That's like a long way to go for an external wastegate.
I don't think you could get through emissions with an external wastegate. That's an exhaust piece that's on its, unless they put a cat on it, which
it's a whistle tip.
Work. It's a whistle tip.
Woo woo! Dewey is from Michigan.
I am from Michigan.
Thank you, Luke. How is that relevant?
I think it's because GM. We're talking about nice interior and whatever.
Oh,
but
right,
I hate
right.
Cadillac
That's
interiors.
right.
I
You don't
think that
understand
interiors
nice
are terrible.
things in life. You think that it's normal that you have to lock your Subaru and like hold the door handle while you close it so that it actually stays locked.
That's a normal thing
That's not
for
a
an
normal
old
thing.
Subaru.
That's not a normal. That should not be a normal thing.
You don't drive Subarus in Michigan. You get dirty looks and knives thrown at you and shit. Like especially in Detroit, you don't drive a Japanese
get
vehicle.
some knives and throw them at you?
Maybe I'd feel like I'm.
All right, I'm gonna go get some butter knives. I'll be right back. Do we keep talking?
I guess he's going to get butter knives to stab me. No, but I honestly think the SS is a really nice vehicle. It's got plenty of power. I think it's a fantastic looking vehicle. I think we could stand to have more of those.
This is OSHA compliant.
He actually threw an actual butter knife at me. You guys almost saw a murder.
You did see a murder. You guys should definitely report us for being OSHA compliant here. The SS, yes, they looks best in black.
I like it in red. There's a ton of colors, but I think that car looks fantastic.
I have a
in
thing
red.
for white cars.
They'd be good looking in white too. It's got lots of little like vents and stuff, and that always makes a white car.
It pop.
Yeah.
It's like contrast. That's true. I get dirty looks in my Jetmobile.
I guarantee you do, Joey.
Joey
I remember
drive
driving. Yeah, he's
Subaru?
got a WRX. That's my brother.
Yeah.
He's got just picked up a bug eye, and even when I was there in my bug eye, I used to get shot nasty looks for driving around in a Japanese car. American manufacturers don't make something I want. The Chevy SS I think is nice, but it's way out of my price range.
Mark is texting me to plug his car some more, so please buy his K24 swap Civic Type R with a half cage, Fortune Autos, Gen somethings, 5 or 6, I can't remember which one he's got on there. Braid wheels, ARC comps, and a bunch of other goodies. That's my plug for the day. That's all you get, Mark.
We got Fortune Autos sitting here.
Oh yeah. So someone on the forums asked me what's new about these new Gen 6 Fortune Autos. Are they just more green? I lied and I said no, they are not more green. Sorry, we
They're
can't do
actually
that.
more green.
They are actually more green. That's pretty awesome. I lied, so whoever I lied to on Zilvia, sorry.
This is a set I set up for a BRZ, local BRZ guy.
BRZ GT86
FRS thing.
Yeah.
This was
slower than a Chevy Pacifica.
This was a lower spring rate. Yes, there's a there's a Chrysler Pacifica.
Or I'm sorry, whatever. You got me a little mixed up here. Yes, slower than a Chrysler Pacifica.
That was pretty bad.
That's pretty. I'm embarrassed.
That was awful.
I'm real embarrassed.
This is a street setup I set up for him though. These are a lower spring rate. We did Swift springs and radio
spring rates
brake
you throw in here?
I think these are 7K, so they're pretty low.
That's pretty soft.
But they're overvalved a little bit. Should be a really nice street setup. We'll get some
especially with the
reviews.
Swifts, they ride a little bit better, I think. They're also like the lightest and truest of spring rate of most of the other brands out there. Yeah, I guess we can talk a little bit. Did you do radio bearings on here?
Yes, that's what this blue thing is.
Yeah, I see that.
So you don't have to deal with that. The radio bearing's cool because when you
So,
turn a McPherson strut car, this stays in place. This has to stay in place. But basically, when you turn, it has to turn.
So if you don't have radial bearings, you get like snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah, what happens is your springs just start to grind into these little plastic
because
things.
it'll bind.
It's gross.
And it sucks. So that prevents that from happening.
Couple camber plates.
Yeah,
Nice.
Gen 6s, camber plates, better hardware.
They did do some updates. Even the knob is nicer.
Right, they changed their machining process for their shim sacks and stuff, so I think it's got a broader range of adjustment now.
Yep.
It's more consistent even than it was before. Is it a little bit more digressive than it used to be even?
I don't think it's more digressive. I don't think it changed that profile at all, but I know their piston is machined a little nicer now.
Look how nice these spin.
Now, unfortunately, these will hold up better because they've got the corrosion resistant coating, but
Is that an upgrade?
no.
Oh.
Yeah, they have the new ones.
They have
that
like
are
a
little
new
nicer.
one that has
Yeah.
an aluminum body, right?
Yeah,
That's an option.
unfortunately, it's not an option for all.
McPherson strut cars,
Yeah.
because it's a lot of load on aluminum.
Exactly. That's actually he explained it right there.
Hooray, armchair engineering!
All right, guys. Well, I think that's about it for us today. Sorry we got cut off about halfway. I think it really kind of trashed our setup, but
Yeah.
we're working on the production quality of this. We have mics. We're working on getting the other camera together. We're just trying to make it all
Right.
happen. So right now we're still using my phone, and my phone is terrible.
It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen.
Well, we got some serious Detroit lean going on still, and
Well, maybe it's because you can't line things up straight.
maybe I'm crooked.
You are probably crooked. One of your legs is probably shorter than the other.
No, but my eyes are definitely. I can't even, like, in boot camp, my drill instructor used to come up and grab my head and tilt it. So he'd want me to stand like this because
Dewey is
like,
actually a real life
it's a true
Picasso.
story. Yeah?
Yeah. He's a work of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of something.
Of something.
All right, guys.
So as
next
I
week-
said, guys, please share us, like us, follow us. I would love to hear more participation from you guys. What do you want to talk about? What,
I'm off camber. He says, yes.
Dewey is about aligned as well as a ND Miata out of the factory, which is to say really terribly because they are really awful. I just did an alignment on ND Miata earlier this week. I think when I maxed out the bolts for the front, I got negative 2.7 on one side and negative 1 on the other.
Really? They're that,
So the subframe is actually not centered from the factory. Awesome, guys. Get it together, Mazda. I love you as a company, but that is unacceptable. That is crazy bad.
Crash, come help us set this up. Either way, guys, keep sharing, keep liking. We really appreciate it. We're going to give away a couple of shirts. I'm not sure what our criteria is, but somebody's getting shirts.
Yeah, I mean, the more we were doing it every 100 likes, but it seems we've slowed down a little bit. So I don't know. Holler at us if you want a shirt and tell us why.
First 2 people to message Snap Understeer, getting shirts. There you go.
Works for me.
That works. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.